All right, everybody, we're back. It's Sunday, okay? And, okay, we checked out the Long Range Reconnaissance Squadron from the Norwegian Arctic Forces, but the video that we watched was a pilot search and rescue during the summer months, and there was no snow. And Magnus, who, come to find out, is a world champion mountain climber, was there, and people thought I was making fun of him, and I wasn't. I was just saying, he's completely gassed, and those guys are just still cranking. And then I also made the comment later in the video that the two guys who didn't have their faces obscured, they said in the video towards the end that they were leaving the unit so they could have their faces exposed. And we saw that, but then people still in the comments were trying to correct me. But if you watch the rest of the video, we covered that, but you didn't watch the rest of the video. You went to the comments and tried to jab me and didn't follow the rest of the video. So So why don't you guys sit down, watch the whole fucking video? Sorry. Anyway, hi, it's Old School Nerd. So we did Finland last week, the most prepared country on the planet. And I promised everyone that we need to give Norway their fair shake and do the video that everybody in the comments was asking me to do. 100 days alone together. Now, all of that Norwegian stuff right there, that's a lot of letters in that one word. And I'm assuming that's the word for reconnaissance. It's a lot. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna watch this. I've got the captions here so I can pay attention. I'll be fine. So this is the Norwegian Long Range Reconnaissance Squadron, apparently one of the best Arctic combat teams in the world, doing what only they can do. Now, for those of you who do not know who I am, and this is the first time you've watched my video, my name is Old School Nerd. I'm an American veteran from the United States, and I served in the US military back in the 90s, pre 9/11, and then after 9/11, I did some support logistical work. Anyway, so I understand a lot about how before 9/11, a lot of the technical aspects, organizational aspects, training of United States forces was done. And I'm really curious to see how other countries handle it in a way that's unique from the United States. And boy, has this been fun. We checked out the Jaegers, the Hunter program from Sweden. That opened our eyes. We checked out the Reg from the UK. We've checked out this group like I said, in a search and rescue during the summer months, this group here. And then we went over to Finland and just realized that whole country is hashtag DFWTF. Don't F with the Finns. Okay. As promised, we're back. Giving Norway their fair share. Apparently, when I'm done with this video, everyone's going to say two things. Number one, Old School Nerd is going to recognize that Norway is one of the best Arctic organizations in military training in the world. I already knew that. Number two, I'm going to be very uncomfortable and need a blanket because I don't like cold weather. I'm from South Louisiana. Our average temperature here is 70 degrees Fahrenheit year round. It can get up to 95. It can get down to just around freezing, but yeah, we're hot here all the time. So I'm not going to understand any of this. In fact, a lot of the dealing with cold climate and Arctic survival stuff blows my mind. I don't know how all of you do that over there in Nordic Scandinavian countries. I visited Helsinki in August and I was chilly. I'm going to say that again. I visited Helsinki last August and I was chilly the whole time. I'm weak, just saying. All right, here we go. 100 days alone together. The best of Norway's long-range reconnaissance squadron operating behind enemy lines. Let's do this. I'm really excited. Can you tell? Good. Here we go. Okay, so they cover their identities if they're operational. We knew that. We knew that.
Det ingen som har gjort detta før. over så lang tid. Ute på vidda I et arktisk klima.
Og her ser man ikke ting 5 meter unna seg.
Det mye som kan gå til helvete.
Fy faen, altså.
Fikk ikke noe søvn I natt. Så begynner å gå litt på underskudd.
Ned!
Brennet. Det kult.
It's badass just to survive that. But not only are they going to survive 100 days in that kind of cold, but they're going to be operational. I can't even do the cold part, guys. Like, I couldn't be indoors and it'd be that cold outside. I would lose my mind. I can't handle it. It's so beautiful.
Nå skal vi ut på øvelse. Og selv om vi har vært på øvelse tidligere, så har ingen av oss noensinne vært så lenge ute før. Og så lenge uten kontakt med omverdenen. Når vi der ute, vi helt alene, vi har ingen logistikkjede å støtte oss på. Det kun det personell og utstyr vi har med oss som redder oss der ute. Grunnen til at vi gjør det her nå handler jo om å trene på det oppdraget og den jobben vi skal gjøre hvis det blir en krig I Norge.
The cold already has my mind just twisted, right? Because it's not my thing. But one of the things that really captures my imagination here, and a lot of you may not understand this because some of you live in these countries, so what I'm about to tell you may not make a lot of sense. But one of the keys to the United States warfighting doctrine that has persisted for the last, since World War II is massive logistics, massive amounts of supplies to move massive amounts of soldiers, the best technology overwhelmed with strategy, technology, and logistics. One of the biggest reasons why the United States is probably the hardest country to invade is because you can't logistically support an invading army across 2 oceans. One of the only countries that could mobilize a force big enough to really invade another country is unfortunately us. We have the largest airlift, ocean lift capacity in the world. Now, don't get me wrong, China's catching up, but China's mainly, their focus is territorial around them, like Taiwan or Korea or, whereas the United States has kind of a logistical global reach. Now, I'm sure that the 10th Mountain Division up in Alaska, I'm sure they exercise similar to this, but 100 days in the Arctic Circle? The key is they're going without any support. Let me tell you that again. They literally just said everything they're going to have, they're taking with them on those little sleds they're pulling behind their snowmobiles. That to me is the next level. If you're solely reliant on a massive logistical machine, massive logistical support, technology, all these other things, that's one thing. This is why people say this is the best in the world. And I think it has to do with not only do they do the Arctic warfare, as Sweden and Finland does, Norway has something that the other ones don't have a lot of. Norway has the most coastline of any European country. And all of it looks very chaotically jagged and vertical. Right? If I'm close, let me know in the comments. If I'm way off, it's to be expected. Remember, I don't do cold.
Ute nå så simulerer vi at Norge har blitt invadert fra øst, og at vi opererer bak fiendens linje.
So the exercise is set that they're being invaded from the east? You think? Yeah, I don't really think Iceland's a threat, guys. We know who you're training to repel. We got that. And odds are that aggressor we're talking about or thing, they're probably, if they're doing invasion of the Scandinavian nations, the Nordic nations, they're going to be hung up in Finland for a while, which means they're going to try to use the Arctic Ocean to slip around. And when they slip over the top, the only access is through Norway. So the Norwegians, they literally practice their friends from the east trying to slip through right here and go around Sweden and Finland and penetrate along the coastline. Because if they can lock all of this down, it allows their navy to break out into the North Atlantic and game's on. Norway would have to be neutralized, or at least northern Norway would have to be neutralized if Russia was to ever try to break out into North Atlantic. We know that for a fact. But luckily for all of us, again, the best at what they do.
Vi kaller dypet. Terrenget vi opererer i veldig utfordrende å holde seg skjult i. Så når vi kan, så graver vi ned oss selv og alt det utstyret vi har med oss.
Herfra.
They're building snow caves to hide their snowmobiles in. What the... Dude, okay, I've shoveled snow one time in my life. I never want to do that again. They're shoveling out snow caves big enough to house them and their snowmobiles and their sleds and everything. And they're doing it in a way that they know through skill and proper technique, it's not going to collapse, bury them, and kill them. This is ridiculous. This is way beyond. We are 2 minutes and 25 seconds into this video, and I am guffawed by the ability of these people. I gotta press play, because we'll never get through this if I don't. I'll just be guffawed later.
Til hit. Til hit. Inni her blir det troppsbase. Det bra.
Der var inngangen, der tetta han og
It's like the Empire Strikes Back when they're in Hoth, but this is better. Watch out for tauntauns.
Og så har vi litt sånn utstyr i beredskap der. Kokkehjørne. Her har vi utstyrsrom med toalett i hjørnet til venstre der. Oppover her så har vi da samhandshjørne, og så har vi Opsen. Der har vi alt.
Grunnen til at vi er der ute er for å løse oppdrag, om det er overvåkning, oppklaring, sabotasje.
Ser du meg?
Ja.
Jeg fikk et oppdrag, så vi skal motta...
You caught what the strategy of their military scope is, right? He just layered it out. It's reconnaissance, surveillance, sabotage. They're not going to do face-to-face engagements, small arms and intermediate, like direct force fighting. They're going to set up sabotages, destroy bridges, access areas, destroy equipment in the middle of the night. Surveillance, reconnaissance, because the idea is they're the only people up there that could radio back or call back and say, yeah, send a Tomahawk cruise missile or send one of those brand new Swedish standoff cruise missiles to these coordinates and kill a bunch of bad guys. That's why they're deadly. It's granted, I wouldn't want to fight them one-on-one, but what makes them deadly is they're super capable of never being seen, see the bad guys, and tell the good guys to lay in some hate all over them. It's impressive.
Alta, og så skal vi møte en SRS, en britisk oppklaringspatrulje. Andre siden. Sett. Bravo 1-1 Echo. This is Alpha 3-1. Ready check. Over. Hørte du at det piper i din? Nei, det er ikke der. Da har vi fått linket opp en britisk CS-opplæringspatruljen. Så tatt den med til vår teltbase. Nå tar de og brifer opp siden hvor de skal ligge og sove. Så skal vi legge en plan sammen.
There's obviously got skidoo's there, so
Deretter så skal vi føre dem inn på et fiendtlig mål som vi skal angripe sammen. Okay, let's go.
yeah, good.
Ja. Skutt begge. Ja.
That is gorgeous. That is so beautiful. Oh my God. Look at that. That looks like it's not even real. But here's the thing. I know it's real. I know it's the beauty of these places is untouched, untouchable from places like where I live. And look at that. Look at that. I mean, I don't want to go there. It looks way too cold, but look at it.
Det er ikke mange andre styrker i verden som er i stand til å gjøre det fjernopplaringseskadronen er i stand til. Fjernopklaringsoperatørene er jo ikke nødvendigvis en gjennomsnittlig norsk borger. Samtidig så er det ikke Supermann. Mange tror at du skal være ekstremt god til å bære tungt og gå langt når du møter opp. Det hjelper, men det viktigste er for eksempel å ikke gi seg. Å kunne leve sammen med en liten gruppe mennesker på vidda i 100 dager. Det er kanskje viktigere kriterier enn ting vi kan lære bort.
God morgen.
Morning, sir.
Jeg har havregrøt, og jeg har sjokolademusli, og jeg har havregrøt, og sjokolademusli. Man blir unektelig veldig godt kjent når man bor oppå hverandre.
Did you see the bottle of Jack Daniels? Was that Jack Daniels or was it Jim Beam? What was the whiskey?
Man blir
Oh yeah, Jack Daniels Tennessee Honey Whiskey. Yeah, they're roughing it all right. I love it.
unektelig veldig godt kjent når man bor oppå hverandre så tett over så lang tid, og man blir jævlig irritert på hverandre. Jeg kan irritere meg over måten Johan drikker vann på, men det er det vi kaller irrasjonell irritasjon, og det er ikke Johan sitt problem måten han drikker vann på, det er mitt problem.
Hva du skriver på, Robin? Skrives det dagbok her? Hva du skriver for noe? Å få litt utløp for det sinnssyke sinnet jeg har.
Ja.
Nei da.
I morges så fikk vi et oppdrag. Så det er et jagerfly som har styrt ut. Vi skal finne
Pilot rescue in winter.
og så eventuelt behandle dem og evakuere dem videre vestover da.
Over 3, 4, 5, 6.
Ja. Ja, mot det. Not even halfway. That's crazy.
Samtidig som vi ute og opererer, så pågår det veldig mye forskning på det vi driver med der ute. Før vi dro ut, gjorde vi veldig mye tester.
Det vi veldig nysgjerrig på om de kommer til å klare å opprettholde på en måte
I think it's very important how they talk about how this is very important that they be absolute dominant athletes, right? They've got to be in such great condition. Plus they have to have fat stores. I mean, somebody once told me that operating in the heat is one thing, right? But your body spends most of its calorie count cooling yourself. It takes way more calories to keep your body warm than to cool it off. So the calorie expenditure, the amount of stress on the body in Arctic operations is vastly harder to deal with than it is for warmer climates. Like for us, we just have to stay hydrated and we can continually operate and cool ourselves. But the Arctic environment is so anti-human life, you have to beat the system. And the only way to beat the system is to be, well, damn near a superhero. So I get it. They're training like they're world-class athletes because they have to be. That's crazy.
Stasjonene sine over 100 dager. Vi ønsker også å teste lungekapasiteten til disse operatørene, og det fordi vi vet fra vinteridrett, for eksempel langrennsutøvere, får en del utfordringer med lungekapasiteten og lungefunksjon etter flere år med trening og konkurranser i kaldt vær. Så derfor ønsker vi også å se på disse operatørene om dette en utfordring som de kommer til å få etter en så lang øvelse og så lange opphold i kaldt klima.
You know what happens if you spend too much time operating where I live? You get a suntan. You do it too long over there and you could just get a lung infection or just freaking die. It's crazy. Okay, look, we're almost halfway through with this video and everything about this, even, okay, the military stuff, fine, whatever. I totally get that. Return fire, logistics, navigation, I know how to do all that. But everything about what they're doing, I could not accomplish because of the environment and the fact that I'm over 50 years old. But even when I was a young man, at my peak level of operations in the military, that was something I wanted no part of. I still don't. This scares me.
I hvert fall ikke så jævla mye. Du også.
En av de utfordringene vi står overfor, som den samme utfordringen om det krig eller om vi bare øver sånn som vi driver på nå, de klimatiske forholdene. Vi har vinterstid.
Og her ser man ikke ting 5 meter unna seg. De sto 15 meter bort til lia og lurte på om de skulle ta til høyre eller venstre for å finne camp. Gå i gang med vaskinga.
You know what? I'm excited that their faces aren't the only thing they blurred. Thank you, internet. Oh my God.
Alt ifra ekstrem kulde til vind, snø, overvann. Dette faktorer som påvirker måten vi løser oppdrag på i veldig stor grad.
Begynner å kutte. Jeg synes jeg vekk da. Ja. Det går greit. Ja.
Konsekvensen av for eksempel en frostskade at vi får en veldig redusert.
So he's checking for capillary refill, how quickly the color returns to the toe. I mean, I understand what that is, but I know that frostbite and all these things are such a very serious risk. Everything about this is freaking me out. Is that okay? Is it okay that this overwhelms me? That what they're doing, I can't even contemplate at all?
Det fra til evne.
Dette nye gutter på en måte, eller 1 og 2 år i stående. Første turen til halka. Da glemmer man at i halka så snur vindretninga. Renska pulken for snø og is i går etter det fine regnværsdagene vi har hatt de siste ukene nå. Men som dere kan se, her er det ingen nytte. Det regner faen meg hver jævla dag.
Det en ekstrem
the fact that, okay, the guy was naked in the cold, and these guys are walking around barehanded, and I'm just thinking, like, how? Like, I couldn't imagine touching or even having my hands out in that level of cold. I guess if you just live there, you develop a tolerance. Like, I know if let's say my friend Jonas from Helsinki was to come down here in August, and it's 99, 104 degrees in that triple digit range, and the humidity is close to 100%, and I left him outside, he may die of heat exhaustion because he's not used to that level of heat continually. And I think that's similar to this. Granted, these guys have to protect themselves because it's an absolute thing, but you notice how he's still functional with his hands, and there's no gloves, and I'm just like, I'd be wearing those mitten things that you can't, I'd be useless. I would be absolute useless.
Belastning på det utstyret vi har med, og mye av tida mellom oppdrag går med på vedlikehold av det utstyret vi har med oss. Alt ifra å sy teltflapper til å bytte styrestag på skuter. Det et konstant vedlikehold og av og til reparasjon av det materiellet vi har med oss ut.
Halfway.
I regn, i godt sværbåtliv. I første 50 dagene har jeg vært innholdsrik. Fått prøvd å teste seg selv ute i litt lenger enn hva vi kanskje er vant til. Og foreløpig så funker det bra. Det at jeg lengter hver dag til dama mi. Så for min del personlig så blir det å stå i den lengselen og se frem til den store gaven det blir å se til hverandre da.
Vi har ikke med oss noen telefoner, og det å være uten den konstante stimulien som en smarttelefon det gjør noe med hjernen og de tankeprosessene man har.
Snø. Det finnes mange slag. Det finnes de som vil deg vondt, og de som spiller på lag. Noen typer til koking, andre finner man i skred. Når den legger seg i landskapet, får alle fred.
Det fint. Hey. Første 50 har gått fint. Jeg var redd for at vi skulle slutte å snakke sammen på dag 30. Men samtalen går fortsatt som på dag 1. Så jeg er egentlig ganske fornøyd med det også. Så jeg er spent på siste 50. Jeg driver og grubler mye, tenker litt mye på tiden nå. Så vi har vel en anelse om at dag 60 til 80 kan bli litt treigere enn det har vært hittil, men
Wow.
Men so far so good.
Nå har jeg spist krema pasta med et innslag av en lapskaus hver 3. dag. Så da blir det en pulled pork i dag. Der ser jeg at det er pasta provence også. Det får jeg spare til en anledning. Som en korsevårs.
Det vi først og fremst får i oss der ute, det norske feltrasjoner, frysetørra mat. Og norske feltrasjoner
I figured a lot of their meals would be stuff that was freeze-dried because of weight, lighter the weight, anything that's hydrated spoils faster, is also heavier to carry. You can load out a lot of freeze-dried food. And luckily, there's plenty of water. You just have to melt it. And you can rehydrate almost anything. I just don't know how good it would taste. I don't know. It looks like an MRE to me.
Veldig bra. Men etter 50 dager så går man jo litt lei. Så når vi på dag 57 får tak i et par reinsdyr av en lokal same, så det en enorm opptur.
Det blir bra.
Yeah, so apparently the Sami, right, are the people that live in the northern Laplands, like the people that live in that land. Their villages, and are they still migratory? Are they migratory people? And the Sami literally live up there all the time. And yeah, it's impressive. It's almost kind of like legendary, you know. They're almost like a magical people. And they have a lot of reindeer apparently.
Hvem som har lært deg å slakte mo? Det mamma eller pappa? Det ingen som har lært meg å slakte eller parkere, så det litt å ta litt på gefühlen. Det bra det. Du må lære mens man gjør. Det skal
Wow.
Han blir god nå.
They've got a serious stew going. Reindeer stew. I saw carrots, potatoes, reindeer chunks. Let's go.
Han må bare la godgjøre seg. Jeg trekker en gang til. Et par-tre oppkok til, så han der og skal være. Hva det hemmelig trikset? Tid. Trikset tid.
Wow. He's got one of those wooden bowls. Okay, so when we visited Finland, they have those wooden bowls for sale, like at all the different shops. And I was like, what is this little bowl? He's like, if you go up to the Lapland, you will find these little bowls everywhere. It's like a cup, your eating bowl. It's like everything, but it's just it's this wooden bowl. Yeah, like that with the little handle on it. Yeah. So like when we visited Finland, they were talking like it was a really interesting shape, and they said, well, the shape of these is pretty traditional. He's like, but if you go up to the Lapland and you go see people, like you see these everywhere, like everyone has one. Yeah. The kuksa, traditional wooden cup, the kuksa. Yeah, I have somebody, I'm live on Twitch right now, and I got a guy, Hapo Matka, he's from Finland, and he's trying to remind me. But yeah, when I visited Helsinki, those were like in every store. And one of the people there is like, oh, you got to go home with one of these cups. It's the most traditional, I think, other than the traditional wool cap, the Finnish wool cap, other than that, those wooden bowls is like the most legit thing to have, I guess. You know, if you got one of those, you're like a local or something. It's like knowing how to boil crawfish here. Just say it.
Den sjokken. Solid porsjon. Det best med musli, altså. Frank.
Kom cirka 100 meter. Traff vi på en bekk. Der har vi et problem.
And there's nobody in a snowcat that can tow you out. You got to figure it out. You can't lose that machine. That machine is life out there.
Og når det oppstår uventa situasjoner, så vi nødt til å håndtere det med det utstyret og den kompetansen vi har
They got it. They got it. Nice.
Det ingen som står på beredskap når vi langt inne på Finnmarksvidda.
Tenkte vi renser det først.
Oh no.
Den der.
Okay, so obviously they went to a local clinic or a local village. So, okay. Training is one thing, but if they have a real world injury, they're going to go to the nearest local village up there, find shelter, and get it treated. because just like anywhere else, I'm sure an infection out there is just as dangerous as anywhere. Ow.
Ja, nå har speideren klart å kutte seg fingeren.
Okay, so he avulsed that. He literally sliced it to the bone, pulled that out. Stitches. He probably broke it. More than likely with a cut like that, he's going to have to tape his two fingers together so that his index can support his middle finger for a while. Just for the support of it. Infection is a very serious thing. If we were in the field and he came to the aid station, we would probably sew all that up. He'd probably go back to the base, but if he has to stay in the field, you would suture it, clean it out. The problem is, I don't know if he would have nerve damage because it's such a deep cut. Without an orthopedic surgeon to look for nerve damage, it could be a permanent injury. Even something as simple as that, because it's so deep. And when you're dealing with this level of operation, the loss of an index finger's full mobility is detrimental. If he had to stay in the field for any length of time, I would put him on a run of antibiotics. Yeah, because he could have nerve damage, muscle, ligament damage, tendon damage. So it's not just sewing it up because it's a finger. There's not a lot of give right there. You know, it's once you cut in, you're damaging muscle and tendon and ligament and nerves. So if this was combat, real war, real world, isolated, you'd clean it up, suture it up, antibiotics, and just wait to evac, and hopefully he's okay. But in this situation, I would assume he'd probably be evac'd because Norway spent a lot of money to train this guy to be the level of operator he is. They'd want to check that. Now, will they? I do not know. Let's press play and find out.
Så det vi har gjort da å sy 5 sting, og så blir det da antibiotika fremover da.
Antibiotics, there you go. Oh, look, and they taped his ring finger and his literally everything I just said, they just did. Okay, so apparently he's going to stay with the team. They sutured him up. They're using his ring finger. I normally I would do this, but I forgot. He needs this finger for some other stuff. So they isolate it with his ring finger. Run of antibiotics. And I'm doing this video and I'm on Twitch and people are like watching me and they're like, Old School Nerd season to the future. I knew it. No, actually, I'm a trained military combat evac medic. I was a paramedic in the military. So these kind of things don't bother me at all. I'm looking at everything he's doing and everybody's like, because they see all the avulsion. I'm like, that's not good. And I'm just processing how I would evaluate that wound and what I would do for this. If he can't be evac, there's nothing you can do. However, when they're done and he goes back, he's going to have a full workup on that, the functionality of that finger. Guaranteed. Just bad luck, man. It happens.
Det her kommer til å gå helt fint.
Ja, dette kommer til å gå helt fint.
Bra.
It's going to be fine. Sure. Okay. 83. This is day 83, which means they have 17 days left on the exercise. Please understand, infection and permanent damage on a wound like that can occur between 7 to 10 days. So if they didn't do a good job of cleaning out that wound completely, which I'm sure they did, but because they have 17 days left, if they didn't do a good job on that wound, by the time they're evac'd back, he may lose that finger if the infection sets in. I'm sure it won't. I'm sure they know exactly what they're doing. But yeah, 17 days to go is a long time to stay in field with that kind of injury. Also, the sound of standing or stepping in snow, that sound is like nails on a chalkboard for me. My skin is crawling hearing that sound. Is that weird? I guess for those of you who live in snowy areas during the summer, you don't really care, but that sound, that crawls my skin, that sound.
Siste plate med melkesjokolade. Fy for snobb.
Last bar of chocolate. We're out of sausage. Fuck it. Call in the bird. Call in the evac bird. We're evacing. We're out of sausage and we're out of chocolate. We're done. Tapping out. We're tapping out. No chocolate? Hell with this. But you've made it 83 days. We don't care. We're out of chocolate and sausage, damn it. It's time to go home. Yeah, I'm weak. Shut up.
Fri for potetgull. Men det som bekymrer meg mer enn løs at
oh, he's out of cigarettes. Oh, now he's gonna die. Yeah, it's of course nicotine withdrawals is pretty bad, I'm sure, up there.
Vi snart lite røyk.
Nå er jeg tom for snacks. Livet suger. Og vi har ligget her.
They had whiskey, chocolate, sausage, reindeer steak, stew. They were good. But they're literally 2 weeks away from accomplishing this amazing, incredible feat. But they get all the way through this. Guy almost lost his finger. They sunk a snowmobile. They've been attacked 47 times from a bunch of different directions. They've rescued pilots. They've done all this stuff. The second they run out of snacks, sausage, chocolate, and cigarettes, they're complaining nonstop. Hell with this, man. Life sucks now.
Snakket om hva vi skal spise når vi er ferdig på farmen. Det blir burger.
They're gonna gut load when they get back.
Pizza. Italiensk sandwich med veldig mye pesto og balsamico.
Mozzarella. Yeah.
Meksikansk og en deilig hjemmelaget carbonara.
Er gutta good? Oppe. Alle er med.
Alle med.
Ja.
Nu vet jo alle at vi går mot slutten av den øvelsen her. Nå handler det for oss om å holde fokus hele veien inn.
Is this the thing that we saw at the beginning? Okay, so they're all the way back to a fjord. They're looking at a harbor. There's a ship there, targets. Is this where they did that assault at the beginning of the video where we were looking at the intro? Cool.
Oppdraget går ut på at vi må ta oss inn på Alta-demninga og ødelegge et fiendtlig radarelement. Under oppdraget her så er det flere bevegelige deler samtidig, og det er mye som kan gå galt. Så vi er nødt til å rappellere ned.
See this right here? You see this tool? This allows them to safely rappel using a straight locking carabiner. This slip-through tool allows them to do rappelling off a surface and have complete control without the need for a belayment. You really can't afford to have a guy down at the bottom just hanging out waiting for you to rappel down. So they're using all the really good stuff. They've got the good gear too. So I like they've got those blue water harnesses too. I love those.
Samtidig som vi tar ut en del fiendtlige styrker på utsida, før vi kan prøve å lokalisere det fiendtlige radarelementet, ødelegge det og stikke av.
1, 2, 3. Når tent, hurtig utrekning på en rekke. 3, 100 meter skal oppøtter. Møller blir med den. Mottatt.
Wow. That's so beautiful.
den siste skimarsjen her, selv om den er lang, så gir den mulighet for litt refleksjon over hva vi har
Over 3
vært igjennom.
months. That's crazy.
Følelsen min til å snart være ferdig nok så ambivalent, faktisk. På en måte så gleder jeg meg til å bli ferdig med selve operasjonen. Men på den andre siden så gruer jeg meg til å komme inn og være ferdig med å være ute i naturen. Så planleggingen til neste tur startet for 60-70 dager siden. Allerede da så merket jeg at jeg ikke kom til å være ferdig med å være ute for i år.
Wow.
Det er greit, Linn.
Okay. Ugh. Wow.
Det var helt fantastisk. Fy faen hvor godt det var. Nei, det er til å bli rørt av.
Hot dogs.
Rett og slett.
Nice.
100 dager med FR får bare en vanlig pølse som smaker helt himmelsk. Kling 6-er, ass.
Tok i hvert fall cirka 40 dager.
Beer? It's gotta be beer. Yep.
Jeg ventet på den her, ja.
Du skal være strålende for et eller annet sted neste dagen. Alle dagene hele.
Det blir jo bare sånn der informasjonsboom. Så.
They come back, turn on their smartphones. You know how much stuff can happen in 3 months? A lot.
Det er faen meg.
I mean, if you think about it, depending upon when this was filmed, could you imagine if this was filmed in 2022 and they left in like December, and then after 100 days, they turn off their phones and realize Russia invaded Ukraine? Could you imagine that? Is that what he's talking about? This is...
Da går det med Kamma. Kamma ligger på 14. 3 poeng på 4 kamper.
Det ser dårlig ut på Tinder. Det er kanskje trøkt da. Testo-nivåen deres.
Wait a minute. You're a high security anonymous operative and you have a Tinder account? No, don't do that.
Først og fremst så har dette vært et bevis på at dette fikser vi. Dette er mulig. Selv i moderne sammenheng, selv som krigen ser ut mellom Russland og Ukraina, hvis det skulle bli krig i Norge, så er jeg 100% overbevist om at vi løser de oppdragene vi blir satt til. Og den selvtilliten der, til at dette fikser vi, dette løser vi, hvis det skulle skje, det er det viktigste jeg tar med meg fra den øvelsen her.
Test it again. Oh yeah, because the post, yeah. Wow, they kept their body fat up? That's crazy. That is incredible. Okay, so there you go. 100 days alone together. The Norwegian Long Reconnaissance. That's just Long Range Reconnaissance Squad. That is just absolutely incredible. And before we go, allow me to say this. All the equipment they were using, communications gear, weapons, strategies, tactics, demolition, and everything else, was purely designed for scout work. They had no heavy weapons. There were some long-range marksmanship rifles. I don't know if anyone had a sniper. I'm assuming they would have a sniper team with them because it's reconnaissance and long range. But we didn't see a lot of that. Normally you don't show that. But even outside of the Arctic aspect of this, which again, I am completely in awe of all of this. I know nothing about Arctic training. I never took it. I never did it. Didn't want to, never volunteered for that. Their tactics in that assault were good. Their reactions to coming under fire in ambushes, even under harsh conditions, was outstanding. I love how when they set up their base camp, they wanted to make sure that even though they were just trying to survive the weather, they wanted to stay operational, which means invisible to the outside world. Somebody drove by in a truck or a sled or a snowmobile. If they didn't want to be seen, nobody was going to see them. In fact, they saw the British SRS team before the British saw them. And it was like, okay, guys, we're here. Oh, there you are. Yeah. So, yeah. So, of course, they did have that British team come in and do some training with them. When it comes to Arctic training, there's a lot of joint force training. Of course, the UK sends their people up. America sends their people. If you're going to learn to do something the best, you have to go where the best are. And Sweden, Finland, Norway, hands down. I really don't think pound for pound, anyone is going to be able to really, I mean, people will say the United States 10th Mountain Division, their Arctic warfare team is very capable. It is also very logistics, technology, and just the sheer mass of the infrastructure behind it makes them effective. But Norway just does it different. They're like, you know what? You see these 5 guys? That's all we need. We're completely operationally effective with just this. And that's the beauty of it. Just like we checked out when we checked out the Jaeger program with Sweden, they weren't trained to be part of a massive military machine on a large battlefield logistical scope. They were designed for small units, highly mobile, highly effective, sabotage, counter invasion, and tactical. The tactical abilities is perfect for defense in that realm. So yeah, you guys were right. I really needed to see this. Now that I've seen it, I know another thing I don't ever want to ever do. 3 things. I never want to burn to death in a fire. I never want to drown. And I never want to be there where they were for any length of time. I couldn't do it. Those guys are more than welcome to come to my house in August and we can talk about it, but still, I'm completely and totally just impressed with this. Okay, so that's the end of this video for today. Norway. There you go. What are we doing next week? Where are we going? Let me give you a hint. Do you know that the US Navy SEALs were not the first combat multi-terrain marine unit? No, they weren't. In fact, the country we were going to next week is literally where the United States came up with the idea for the Navy SEALs and SEAL Team 6 back in the 1980s. Want to find out who it is? Join us here next week. I'll give you a hint. Let's just say we may get a little hypa. We'll see you later. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you enjoyed this video, give us a like. It really helps the channel grow. Also, if you want to subscribe, right over there. Germany. We're going to Germany. Come on, guys. Electric Callboy. Never mind. I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you enjoyed this video, give us a like. It really helps the channel grow. Also, if you want to subscribe, right over there. A big thank you to all my Patreons out there for everything you do. And if you want more content like this, check them out above. Remember, love one another, take care of each other. We're all stuck on this mud ball together. We'll see you later.